Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. It's been a minute, but glad that I'm actually making, videos more often now. And your girl's really getting into the whole YouTube thing. And so I'm actually really enjoying this. So first off, I do want to introduce myself again. If you don't know who I am, I'm Rachel Thornhill, your favorite bougie race wife. I'm a mindset and manifestation queen, and I'm the host of the Women in Motorsports podcast, Race Wife Unfiltered, where I let women in motorsports take center stage to share their stories. So moving right along to the topic today, I'm talking all about confidence, and trust me, I had like none. I mean, none before the podcast started back in December of 2022. I was always like overthinking everything, self-sabotaging every passion project that I created. I had a fear of both failing and also success. And like, I know you're probably like, Rachel, how can you have a fear of success, right? Well, the thing is, like, when you've been brainwashed to think that like the corporate world is the only way, so when you get into like trying to be an entrepreneur, you hear like so much noise, right? About like many people not making it or not being able to sustain their businesses, that it can actually almost scare you. Like you can get scared about like how hard and long it could take you to do it. Or, and then if you get there, finally, like get to where you want to be, like, will you be able to keep it afloat, or will you have to go back to the corporate world again, right? It's like this vicious cycle of what ifs and limiting beliefs. And so that's why I had to like really take a good look in the mirror and realize that I am capable, right? And I'm worthy of a life outside of corporate. So the corporate world doesn't like have to be my life forever. So I made the decision that I would retire from corporate at the age of 40 or less. Like that is the timeline that I have given myself. Because y'all, like, I'll be honest, I'm tired. Like, I've been in the corporate world since I was 18 and I'm 37 now, so I've been in the corporate world for I'm almost pretty much almost right at 20 years now. Like, so I just, I want that slow living lifestyle where I can regulate my nervous system and have the freedom to create and travel, and I want to have that privilege to do so. And I mentioned this in the past, but for you guys that don't know, like I'm a major introvert, so which is really odd because obviously with the podcast I can't be, right? So like you wouldn't really be able to tell based on the podcast now because, I have to interview guests sometimes and stuff. So I started the podcast to actually push me out of my comfort zone because obviously the things that we truly want tend to be outside of our comfort zones. So I had to just like jump in and make myself get comfortable interviewing people and just me being on camera, because that's something that I've always had a huge problem with, was being on camera and just talking, and you can tell there's a huge difference between when I did my first podcast to where I am now. And like, I'm almost a whole year in, like I make a year on December 22nd, of 2023. So literally guys, and it's crazy, but that's going to be in a few short months, like literally next month, it will be a year. And I still can't believe it because I didn't think I would be doing this a year in, because this is the most consistent thing that I've ever done. So that was another thing for me, was that I knew that like you can't get comfortable or confident with anything until you just start and you be consistent with it. And so that's why I made sure with the podcast that I was consistent pretty much every week. There was only 1 week that I did not do the podcast, and that was because I was literally hospitalized that week. So there was no way that I would have had time to edit my podcast and be able to put it out there. So I had no choice but to take a week off, and that was 4th of July week, earlier this year. So I had no choice. I had to, because I was, like I said, I was in the hospital for some time, and then, just trying to recover after I got out. I knew there was no way for me to be able to do that. But so just like this right now, YouTube was something I always thought about doing, but I was always too scared to video myself and put it out there, for the world to see. So, and to be honest, and I don't know why I freaked out about it, because it's really no different than putting yourself out there on social media. But for some reason, reels and video in general, it was harder for me to do that than photos of myself or just typing something out on social media. So, and also I've always been a huge critic of how my voice sounds, because, and I know because I was always bullied in school, even as a kid, even in my high school years, I was bullied over how I speak. And so so that's why I always kind of shut down, and I was always pretty quiet as a person, because that stuck with me for a long time, even into adulthood. And so, yeah, and let's just be real, guys, don't bully people for how they speak, because it can end up hindering them, from using their voices. And that's exactly what it did for me. And so but the way I was able to kind of get over that was, I ended up having a spiritual awakening during COVID. And for some reason, that was just kind of a thing. A lot of people kind of went through that. And that literally put all of that into perspective, that I hadn't spoken up for so long, and that I needed to start being more confident in myself, advocating for myself, and letting my voice be heard. And so I wanted to do that, but mix my passion for motorsports within it. And here we are, almost a year later with the podcast. And the podcast was literally my passion, to be able to use my voice, but also to speak up as a race wife, because we tend to not really get, we don't get heard in the motorsport community a lot. And also, I wanted to make sure that I could give other women in motorsports, no matter what they do, whether they're a race wife or they are a driver themselves, or they might have a corporate job within the motorsport industry, or, or they might be just related to a race car driver, whatever, so that they can, share their stories, because everybody has a very unique story. And now, not even a year later, we are in the top 10% of podcasts globally. And y'all, honestly, I didn't even know, because I don't truly pay a ton of attention to my metrics when it comes to my podcast. Sure, I do see what my downloads are every time I log in to be able to schedule a podcast episode. But I truly did not know that it was in the top 10% until one day I just all of a sudden took a look, because somebody had mentioned in a Facebook group about Listen Notes, listennotes.com. It's where you can actually go and see your ranking of where you are when it comes to podcasts. I guess you could kind of consider them the billboard of podcasts, because they kind of you can look up the name of your podcast and it'll tell you if you're in the top 50%, top 10%, top 5%, whatever. I never really paid attention much to it. I saw it one time, because I just signed up for it, but then I just never looked at it again. And all of a sudden that was earlier last month, I think at the very beginning of November, right? And obviously, guys, it's already December. Literally, it's December 2nd when I'm filming this right now. So it's crazy that we're already in December. So in 20 days, it'll be a year. And yeah, like I didn't even know I was in top 10% until I just looked, and I was like, and it said top 10%. And I was like, that's insane. Like I had no idea. And I'm so proud of the work that myself and my team have done, because it's like without them, I would have never got to the top 10%. Like I was trying to do all this by myself. And guys, like if a 37-year-old married mother of 2 from Louisiana that isn't a huge public figure can literally do this, like go for her dream and do this, like I know you can, right? Like, so I want you to tell me in the comments below, like tell me what your dream is, and are you living out that dream, or are you like, or have you not started yet? Like is this something that you just haven't, like you're like, I want to do this but I don't know how, or I want to do this but you know I'm still working a corporate job and I don't really know if I have time for this or whatever. Like let me know. Like I read my comments and I want to support you guys in any way that I can, because to be honest, I know what it's like to go through life not living out your passions, not living out your dreams, and just doing things because that's what, you know, we feel like we're supposed to do. And you know, you don't, I mean, it's never too late to start. I mean, guys, like I literally just started the podcast a year ago, you know, at 36, you know, like it's not, you know, I'm almost 40, and so it's not too late. It's never too late to start. So yeah, guys, so definitely let me know. You know, I want to be able to support you guys as much as possible, and let me know like if there's certain topics or whatever that you guys want me to talk about. You know, I try to keep it within, you know, mindset, manifestation, productivity, self-care type stuff. But, you know, if there's a specific thing that you guys want me to talk about, let me know. Like, I'm willing to, like, hear you guys out and do that. So, yeah. Okay, guys. So, until next time, hit that subscribe button and the bell, too. You know, make sure that you guys get all the notifications so you guys can keep up with everything that I've got going on. I am going to start doing videos once a week now instead of twice a month, because I actually have a little bit more time now. So yeah, go out there and manifest your best lives, and I'll talk to you guys soon. Bye.